Thank you, Susan. I think you underlined some very important aspects. This last one of the artificial intelligence is something that I really think is the future of the mobile tool, because it's where we are going, and where machine will come, our device will come for having interaction with us, to having relationships. So we will see where we will go. Thank you. And I would love to know if there are any questions about this full presentation. Yes.
Yes, a question for Chiara and Allegra. Having in mind that you are a large Tier 1 museum, if you can disclose which was the cost, the overall cost of your project? Roughly speaking, not.
Let's see. That's the reason why I'm sort of rolling my eyes is it's in progress, so it's still.
Oh, I see. So you, which was at least the initial budget for the project?
I think the first phase was. Let's see. I'm trying to be vague and definitive at the same time. Probably around 100,000, I think. For the first phase, okay. And then we are doing additional phases and things too. So it's even though we're working outside, it's still a significant investment.
Okay.
Or working internally as well.
Until now, which has been the most tricky aspect you had to face, or in other words, where did you have to make the heaviest review of the project and the development? I mean, maybe app accessibility, user interface, usability, whatever.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure. What was the question in that?
I mean, where did you have to review the project, to make iterations?
Do you want to
yeah, because it was iterative, we had it along the way, but we launched in the museum in July, at the beginning of July, and I would say that the first month was when we really did a lot of testing with the public, and the main thing was really to make sure that we were testing with 2,000 devices, with Wi-Fi, dealing with caching, and that was, I would say, the biggest effort for us.
But I think the question was also about getting buy-in from people along the way.
Where did you have to make the most complex iterations, review of the original ideas?
Well, I think we had a big presentation, sort of, I guess, 3/4 of the way through, between the time we started and the time we launched the first iteration, where we had worked through a lot of decisions with the immediate team, but that was the first time that we were really showing the senior staff in a big way. And I'd say that was probably, there had been ongoing discussions and changes within the team, but that was the time that we really kind of showed everybody what all of this decision-making was leading to. And at that point, everybody else was really on board. So I think that was sort of a key moment. But I'd say up until that point, it had been very iterative. And so that, I can't say it was like at this point and this point and this point. I think that was the only moment where you could say, all right, from this point on, everybody was really behind this project and really understood where we were going with it. I hope that answers your question.
Any other question? Yes. Okay. The microphone. Wait, we give you a microphone so everybody can listen to you.
Thank you. My name is Per Øyvind Riise from the City Museum of Bergen in Norway. I like very much the idea of the project evolving in cooperation with external experts. The problem we face is that whenever we are going to spend this amount of money that you have spent on this project, we have to have competition between different vendors. And that also requires us to write a quite detailed an order for the companies to give an offer on. how do you work around those issues? I mean, the good thing about this would be to have one vendor that you really trust and you want to have on board, and then let the project evolve. But when you have to, before you start, really make all the decisions on what the product is supposed to look like, how do you get by that? Have you had those kind of
Yeah, I mean,
troubles?
we weren't required to do an RFP or anything. We weren't required to do that kind of process. So we could select the company that we wanted to work with. And, you know, they were very much our choice because of this process and being able to help us adapt to this process. That being said, I think you can still work, you know, do this RFP, doing this kind of a proposal process as long as you're building that workflow into what you're asking for. So it's, you know, you can still say this is what we're going to try and do up front, and you can do those specifications, but I think as long as one of those specifications is we're going to build in the opportunity to keep revisiting these specifications, then I think you've kind of got an element of that in there while still maintaining that kind of older structure. I don't know, Kiara.
So I've got a question to Susan, just to be a little bit provocative here on her comment at the beginning that she had nothing to say about project management. And not to defend the construction of the program or anything like that, but one of the things that I've constantly said about mobile projects and others in museums that we just don't do very well is market them, and we don't build marketing into our project management plan. We build things and expect people to come. And I'm just interested in your thoughts on, does machine-readable event data actually provide perhaps an unexpected and new and even innovative way to make sure that once we develop projects and events that they're knowable, findable?
This one. You scolded me the last time. Okay, further away, closer. I'm always getting scolded. Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely right. And I think that, you know, this is the question of marketing what the programs of museums today, which is that you will have people who are looking for nothing more than a notice on their telephone that something is happening nearby, and you are looking for people who are looking for a rich contextual, you know, notice about what we're doing, and we have to serve both of them. But the work of getting machine-readable event information online is super, super simple. And we're not doing it, and the sports arenas are. And that makes me crazy. I mean, it makes me absolutely nuts. This is really simple. It is the simplest schema you've ever seen. And I'm happy to send it to anybody, and I bet you could get your calendar data ported into it in a second. I don't think it means, though, Nancy, that you want to not do the other kind of marketing, right? It's just that there's no reason not to do this.
And, you know, this might be a takeaway for Svelia Museo and other organizations that are here using social media very intelligently to try to find low-cost way for museums to get their events and other programmatic information out there. This is perhaps something that we haven't really considered till now, and it's why I thought it was very important this be in the program.
Well, I wasn't complaining. Everybody stayed. They didn't want to go in the rain. We were perfect. I would also say that that I think that we have to start thinking about what we offer as events. I think that coming to the Palazzo Vecchio, which doesn't claim to have an event happening necessarily from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock this morning, but just walking into, you know, to the building and looking around is an event. And if we don't start thinking of ourselves as competing with the kinds of activities that are classified as events, the theater, you know, the orchestra, and the football game, we are losing an opportunity to reach an audience. So I don't see why you don't just say, you know, this event is, I'm open from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, also from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, you know, come on in. So it's a tricky change in the way that we think about our organizations.